unboxing is picture book One More Jar of Jam. It's by Michelle Sumovich and illustrated by Gracey Zhang. And it is published by Dial Books for Young Readers. And they're in a tree and they're picking fruit. And I think it might be mulberries because I recently discovered there's a lot of mulberries where I live in Newton because it was a manufacturing hub at the turn of the century for like textiles. Because we have rivers that, we have the Charles River that runs through our town. And so they're able to do like thread manufacturing because of the, harnessing the power of the river. And so there was a time where they tried to plant a lot of mulberry trees for food for silkworms. So there's like, I guess they planted trees everywhere, kind of like in public spaces. But then there was a very cold winter one year and it killed the vast majority of the mulberries. But there's still a few that remain, kind of like in a bit of random places. But the one by my friend's house bears a ton of fruit. And I have enjoyed eating the mulberries there. So let's see, is it mulberries? I don't know. That was a long segue. It is a mulberry tree. I was picking mulberries with my friend from India. He's from New Delhi, and he said that they used to pick mulberries when they were young and then sell them in the street, like kind of a cheeky way to earn money, because they didn't need it for the money, but they just did it because they wanted to like buy, whatever, street food or whatever. But he said, what was interesting, he said the mulberries in India were like 2 or 3 times the size of the mulberries that we were picking. And the mulberries we were picking are more like this size, which is, like I would say twice as long as a raspberry, but not even as big as a blackberry. So I was like, oh, well, maybe it's your tropical climate, like you just get bigger ones. And so here, the birds eat it, and oh, they're picking the mulberries by shaking it to make mulberry jam. We literally would just like find low-hanging branches that were like filled with them and pick them one by one. They have a bit of a stem, even if you shake it, they don't like come off that easily unless they're like super ripe. So it looks like they're making and mulberry jam. What does it taste? Mulberry tastes not as sour as a raspberry. Maybe like a cross between a raspberry and a blackberry. Anyway, it's kind of fun because it's like free fruit. And so it looks like, oh no, did the mulberry tree get cut down? Oh no, there was something bad. The mulberry tree cracked. I don't know if that was like lightning or just it was old, but that's pretty major. It almost looks like it either was rotting in the beginning or rotting in the trunk or something bad happened. And they missed the mulberries. I could imagine because that was, when they bear fruit, it is a lot of fruit. But look, yay. Branch emerges. And actually, my friend who had the very large raspberry tree or mulberry tree, there were a lot of smaller mulberry trees that were clearly from fruit that had fallen. They weren't as big. They were like baby mulberry trees, but they were still bearing fruit. So that's a happy ending. One day, this mulberry tree is going to give you enough for jam. Well, that's fun because honestly, I didn't even know what a mulberry was until like a few years ago when I discovered that mulberry tree in my friend's yard. But that's kind of fun because, it's a lesser known fruit, but it's, ancient, I think. And it's interesting too that people eat it around the world. Anyway, thank you so much for, I think it was Dial Books for Young Readers, and thank you for watching.